Hey, welcome to Make a Mark Studios. I'm Miss V, and today we're going to be etching a one-point perspective scene that shows glowing streetlights. If at any point you feel like I'm going too fast, don't panic. You can always pause the video or adjust your playback speed to make it slower by clicking the settings icon in the bottom right corner. If you'd like step-by-step photos that allow you to work even more at your own pace, check out the link below. The materials that you're going to need today include a 4.25 inch by 5.5 inch sheet of scratch paper, a sheet of tracing paper that's about the same size as your scratch paper, a pencil, a ballpoint pen, a craft knife, and a roller if you'd like to make your lines even straighter. A quick little tip, you can take a 8.5 by 11 sheet of scratch paper and cut it into 4 equal rectangles, and this will give you 4.25 inch by 5.5 inch rectangles to work with. You can always go a little bigger or smaller with this activity if you'd like. So to get started, first we're going to take our sheet of scratch paper and trace it onto our tracing paper. We're going to start with our one-point perspective drawing by drawing our horizon line and then putting our one-point perspective vanishing point onto that horizon line. We're going to first make the road, so we're going to create a straight line that converges to the vanishing point, and then 2 more straight lines in the middle. Those are going to guide us for our road lines. And then we're going to draw some converging diagonal lines that are going to help us to keep our streetlights in one-point perspective accurately. Our streetlights are going to be completely straight, not leaning over. So you want to make sure that these streetlights are perpendicular, meaning they meet at your horizon line at a 90-degree angle. You'll notice that I use that second guideline to help me to know where to start to bend the top of our streetlight. With perspective, the streetlights are going to be more spaced out, larger, more detailed as they're closer to the viewer, but as they get closer to that vanishing point, they're going to get smaller, less detailed, and closer together. We're also going to draw in those road lines. Same thing, they'll be further apart and larger, away from the vanishing point and get closer together and less detailed as they get closer to that vanishing point. You can also draw the outlines to give you some help of where those streetlights are going to be glowing on the ground. When you're ready, you're going to take that sheet of tracing paper and set it on top of your scratch paper. You can use some tape to hold it into place. And then you're going to take your ballpoint pen and you're going to go over the contours of your final lines. What this is going to do is it's going to create indentations, not scratches, onto your scratch paper, allowing you to see just slightly where your lines are. To review some etching techniques, you'll see that throughout this video we use a lot of hatching, which is using lines to create value, and cross-hatching, which crosses lines over top of one another in different directions to create value. Other etching techniques you might want to investigate is stippling, using tiny dots or really tiny lines to create value, or scumbling, which is where you use squiggly lines to create value. Remember, etching on scratch paper is a subtractive technique. So instead of adding material to create shadows, you're taking away material to create your light. So it's a little reverse than using, say, a pencil to draw onto paper. So the more that you take away, the brighter the white's gonna be, and the less you take away, the lighter the white's gonna be. It's called scratch paper because you're really scratching the surface. You're not digging deep or pushing down hard. To get started, I'm going to hatch some vertical lines on my streetlight poles. Basically, what's going to be happening is our bright light is hitting the top of our poles. So at the top of the poles, it's going to be a brighter white, and it's gradually going to fade down to a lighter gray. Notice all my etching lines are going in the same direction. When you're using a craft knife, You don't want to push down hard at all. A light scratching is the best approach. It allows you to slowly get the value where you want it to be, and it will help you so that you don't etch too deep into the paper. This can be bad because it causes little tears in the white paper below. All right, once you have your poles done, you're going to go ahead and etch away the brightest white on the top of your lights. To get it nice and clean and bright white, feel free to try out some cross-hatching, where you do some vertical and horizontal lines. At the top of those street lights, you'll see just a little hint of light glowing on the sides. And now here's the fun part. We're going to use lines to create that glow of your street light. Lots of directional marks here that are all going in very strategic directions to make it look like it's kind of fanning out from your light. At the very top of our light, it's going to be very bright, so you're going to etch away a lot of lines, and it's going to slowly and gradually fade off as it goes towards the bottom of our street light pole. As you work, you'll want to really push your contrast so that your bright whites stand out against your dark black background. Remember, as you get closer to that vanishing point, things are going to get less detailed because they are very far away. So the things closer to the viewer, you want to be more detailed, and less detailed as they get further away. Now here's the fun part as well. What we're going to do is create some of that light that's shining down from the street light onto the ground. So almost like a spotlight effect around each of our street lights. Notice again that I'm using very strategic directional lines that go in the same diagonal direction. Right below the light, we're going to make it the brightest white, and it's going to fade off on the edges. I'm going to bring those lines just to the edge of our road, create a little drop down, so that part's going to remain black, and then continue the light fading off into the road. Use your guidelines that you drew to help you to know where to stop. You're going to create a look of a shadow on the side of your sidewalk. Your next step is to create a little bit of a light gray in the road. So we're going to create some diagonal lines, then we're going to etch away the lines on the road. Remember, they're going to be closer together as they get closer to that vanishing point. Closer to our light source, there are going to be more lines so that the road looks more lit up. And it's going to gradually fade off as we move to the opposite side. As you finalize your etching, you really want to push the contrast. Cross-hatching will remove more of your black to make your whites a little bit brighter. So if your lines are going horizontal, cross-hatch with some vertical and diagonal lines to clean up that white space. If you'd like, you can explore creating a moon or some stars in the black sky above. right, and here is my final glowing one-point perspective streetlight picture created with scratch paper. I hope you found this video tutorial to be helpful. Feel free to subscribe for more videos from Make a Mark Studios, helping you to make your mark through art.